guys, and welcome to my August wrap-up and book haul. So this month, I bought a lot of books. I kind of go in this sort of pattern where I'll have one month where I don't buy any books at all because I know my TBR list is so long. But when the next month rolls around, I kind of go a little crazy and I just start binge buying books. And that's kind of what happened this summer. At the end of June, beginning of July, my cousin Mallory finally convinced me to read the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices series. I absolutely loved both of those series. And I wish that I'd read them earlier, but because I was reading them in July and I was borrowing them from her, I wasn't buying any books. So when August came around and I was finishing up the last couple books in those series, the itch came back and I needed to start buying books ASAP. And I ended up buying 8 books. So let me tell you about the books that I bought. The first 2 that I got were pure cover buys. I mean, I saw them in Barnes & Noble and I couldn't walk out of there without them. The first one is the Barnes & Noble version of The Secret Garden. It has beautiful gold leaf edged pages and I love the combination of the gold flowers and the baby blue background. It's just a gorgeous book that I'm really happy can kind of make my shelves look a little bit prettier. And the second one I got is Beauty. Now it's a Sleeping Beauty retelling by Sarah Pinborough, and I've never heard of it, but there are a couple in this series. I think there's a Snow White one as well, and Sleeping Beauty is my favorite princess, and so I just had to get it. I'm not sure if it's something that I'll actually end up reading, but it's a really pretty book. So I also did the buy 2 get 1 free paperbacks from Barnes & Noble, and I got these 3 books. I got The Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. It's the second book in the Red Rising series, and don't judge me, but I actually haven't read the first one yet, but I saw that it was on the table and it is a series that I do want to pick up at some point in the future, so I went ahead and got it. And then I also got The Martian by Andy Weir, and I've heard great things about it and I know they're turning it into a movie, and so I wanted a chance to read it before seeing it on the big screen. And then the third book I got is How to Be a Heroine, or What I've Learned from Reading Too Much. And it's just a bunch of short stories and it looks really cute, and so I decided what the heck. So another adult fiction book that I got is The Husband's Secret by Leanne Moriarty. And one of my best friends has been raving about her books, and so I decided to pick it up and give it a go, so we'll see how it turns out. I also can't help but love the cover and think that it would be a great manicure. The last 2 books I got this month are 2 YA books that I've had my eye on for a while. They're both series and I really have wanted to pick them up, but they're quite different. First is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. Now this trilogy I've heard is really creepy, really fun, really romantic, and so I've really just wanted to pick it up for some time. And since we're going into fall, which of course brings Halloween, I think this would be a great book to read on my TBR list for October. And the other book couldn't be any different. It is Anna and the French Kiss. Now let me tell you, I already read this and I just bought it last week and I am in love. It is so cute. The characters are so much fun, and I can totally picture a little Lizzie McGuire type character running around talking about Anna's feelings in her head. And so I cannot wait to do cover-inspired manicures for both this and the other 2 books in the series. So that's pretty much it for my book haul this month, and so now on to my August wrap-up. So over the past month I read 5 books and I loved pretty much all of them. They were all 4- and 5-star reviews, and I just had a great reading month. I was finishing up the Infernal Devices trilogy right at the beginning of August, so Clockwork Princess was the first book that I read. And let me tell you, this series is absolutely phenomenal. The characters that Cassandra Clare has created in this series are out of this world. I am completely in love with Will and Jem and Tessa. They are just a fantastic group of 3 friends, and I couldn't have found a better book to fall in love with the characters. And I knew that I was going to be in a little bit of a book hangover after that, but I still had the last 2 books of the Mortal Instruments series to finish. And so then I picked up the City of Lost Souls. And this book was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. It was a little bit unfortunate that I read it after Clockwork Princess because that was such a fantastic, amazing finish to the series, and this one left me a little wanting, but not so much as to rate it any lower than 4 stars. I still really loved it. But then we came to City of Heavenly Fire. And this big guy was an amazing finish to the series. It's everything I could have wanted. It was romantic, it was adventure and excitement, and it wrapped up the story incredibly well. And I loved seeing a couple of the characters from the other book pop in here, and it was an amazing end to the series. I couldn't have wanted anything else, and I cannot wait for the television show, Shadowhunters, that's starting soon. It's going to be amazing. The cast looks fantastic, and I seriously can't wait to fangirl every week watching this series. So after this book, I just finished 9 books in this world, and I knew it was going to be really hard to move on, so I decided to take a quick left and head over to the YA contemporary genre. And so I picked up Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider, and it was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars, but it kind of felt very similar to The Fault in Our Stars, you know, sick kid romance and that kind of thing, but there were a couple of big twists that did give it a little bit of extra individuality from those other contemporary YA sick kid romances. But then the last book that I read in August was probably one of my absolute favorites of 2015, and that would be Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I adored it. It was so much fun, it was adventure, it caught me in a way that contemporary books don't usually catch my attention. I needed to keep heading back and seeing what happened next, and that usually only happens in, you know, those dystopian or those fantasy books. And it was so cute and so funny. There were laugh out loud moments, and it was everything I wanted from a summer book. It was so much fun, and if you read one contemporary book this year, this should be it. Well, that brings us to the end of my first wrap-up and book haul, and let me know in the comments below if you've read any of the books that I bought in August, and if you liked them or if you didn't like them. And also, I would love to hear your opinions on any of the books that I read during August as well. Happy reading!